Hi, my name is Carmen Ochoa, and I was an intern at the Cook Children's Healthcare System in the Public Relations and Communications Department as a PR and communications intern. I am really going to miss my time there. I had so many opportunities and so many projects and a lot of memorable moments that came out of that internship. The first moment that comes to mind is just taking notes. I remember the first week when I got there, I was taking notes at pretty much everything that I did there. Any meetings that we went to, any interviews that we did. I was just taking notes because I wanted to absorb all that knowledge and all that information that they were, saying. And they really took notice in that, within those first couple weeks. They're like, wow, you are really getting pages worth of notes. And I think it was really valuable to me because I, if I didn't write those notes, I don't think they would have stuck with me. Another thing that stuck out to them was asking questions. I would always ask questions anytime we would go out anywhere, going out to photo shoots, going out to like interviews, doing any meetings. I would be also asking questions as well. They would be questions like, do you like working here? Do you like what you do? How did you get into, where you are today? And just talking and connecting with people. And it would surprise them because I would just say I'm an intern, but I would also love to, get like more information as to what you do. What advice could you give me now that I'm starting out here as an intern before going out into the real world? And people really like hearing that you want to know their advice, that you're not just there to be there. Um, and another thing was being outgoing. I really broke out of my shell this semester compared to previous semesters. I got out of my comfort zone. I went and I just started talking to people and initiating those conversations and continuing those conversations, checking back with people, and maintaining those relationships really did help me out in the long run. Along with that, I was also blessed with many opportunities and projects. The first project I actually got to work on was for the Raising Joy podcast. During its creation, it was pretty secretive. Raising Joy was doing collaborations with Roxo regarding a SWOT analysis, any like PR. I got to sit in those meetings and got to connect with people from TCU. I also got to expand my public relations skills within those meetings. In that time, I also went out of my way to um, get to sit into one of those recordings. Um, just by asking, they would be talking about how they were going to set up recordings, having people, interview them, being there, talking about their experiences. And it sounded really interesting to me. And I was like, this is a good opportunity. I would like to be there. Can I be there? And they said, yeah, sure, just tell us when you'd like to be there. We can set it all up. And it actually led me to making another connection there, which was the owner of Nexum Creative Media. He talked about his life and how he started and how he owns his company. And I also got to learn what it takes to make a podcast, and he gave us really good advice on that. And I wrote about it in my blog for the internship class. Um, Another opportunity that I had with Cook Children's was writing a story. Um, the first story I had was just about self-esteem. And to be honest, I didn't even finish that story. I just pitched that idea, mainly because my self-esteem at that time was low. I felt like an imposter writing that story, and I just couldn't continue. But what I did was I actually reached out to other writers and, asked their advice. Like, hey, how can I become a better writer? What do you guys do at Cook Children's to interview people to write stories for Checkup Newsroom? Which led me to actually having one story published there at Cook Children's. Um, and it was on, does my child have COVID, the flu, allergies, or a cold? And that was at the height of when everybody was just getting sick at the beginning of the year. And it was something that a lot of people were asking at the time. It also led me to learn how to research when writing that paper, looking at, the CDC, any scientific articles or papers that were published, since it was, a medical-based community. I got to see, how to cite them and how to include them within my paper. Along with those opportunities, I got to attend PRSA meetings um, through Cook Children's, and I was very blessed and fortunate enough to have them pay for any events that I needed to attend. It gave me networking skills and expanded my LinkedIn portfolio. I still keep in touch with the connections I made there at those organizations to this day. I got to learn how to create business partnerships and forming a business. I learned about APR accreditation, how to communicate about race and gender, storytelling and video editing, as well as digital trends. During my time there at Cook Children's, I also helped create graphics for the Cook Children's internal communication website, for the employee craft fair, for cookout recipes. It really expanded my skills on Canva, especially. Um, in addition to that, I also got to see how events were planned. One event specifically that pops up in my mind is Slimadoc, where they celebrated National Doctors Day and they wanted to create community engagement not only with nurses and doctors, but with also patients as well. The media was involved, so I got to see how to contact the media, how to get them set up, as well as filling out consent forms, making sure we have, patients' permission for them to be on camera. Overall, this experience was amazing in and of it. I really enjoyed being an intern at Cook Children's, especially with Tatiana. She was the best person I could have ever interned with. We both were the first interns starting there from Texas Wesleyan. We created that partnership. We um, build that bridge, to start that internship and get the experience and, make those connections. I'm so blessed and grateful for Cook Children's. I'm blessed with all the people that I've worked with, such as Kim, Abigail, Tom, Elena, and just everybody there. I really appreciate it. Um, and I'm so happy that they've given me, so many opportunities to branch out and get out of my shell. Um, I'm blessed that by attending those PRSA events, I was able to have a communications internship lined up for the summer. I was also able to connect with people in, uh, suggesting to apply to job positions. And that is something that I never would have thought of, but I've kept up with those, connections, and they have helped me within the long run. I greatly appreciate everything that Cook Children's has done for me, and I hope anybody who listens to this knows that they will get a good return value from being an intern with them. Thank you so much, and I hope you guys love listening to me talk about my experience there.